His career has spanned more than 6 decades and he's written more than 20 novels and 5 plays. Gore Vidal is one of America's most respected writers and thinkers and is considered a patriarch of American letters and democratic politics. He's highly critical of George W. Bush's administration. But what does he have to say about the bitter contest for the Democratic nomination? We'll hear from Gore Vidal himself in a moment, but first, a look at his colourful background. Gore Vidal, now 82, has written an expansive literary catalogue which has seen him analyse America's past, examine its national psyche and constantly remind his country of its misadventures. He is the sole survivor of a group of influential post-war novelists which included Norman Mailer and Truman Capote. An early foray into political commentary came in 1968 when ABC News hired Vidal and fellow writer William F. Buckley Jr. as political analysts of the Republican and Democratic presidential conventions.
Shut up a minute. No, I won't. And some people will not say.
Today, he's a friend of the Clintons, but his connections with the Democrats go back to his father, who worked for the Roosevelt administration. His mother married a man who would later marry Jackie Kennedy's mother, establishing a connection between Vidal and former President John F. Kennedy. He's only just returned to live full-time in the United States after more than 30 years in Italy. Well, this afternoon I spoke to Gore Vidal here in London. We looked at the race to lead America and the candidates that are presenting themselves for president, starting with Senator John McCain.
He's never done anything in the Senate. He's a kind of... I remember Nixon saying something about Bush, the senior Bush, who got to be vice president. And a friend of mine asked Nixon, what should we expect of Bush, old Bush? And he said, well, he's a lightweight, said Nixon. Nixon was a very shrewd man. You won't expect anything. You know, there's nothing real there. He's not the sort of person you do anything with other than appoint him to things.
But he's a hero.
Who?
McCain. He's survived.
Yes, and he should have been court-martialed for losing the plane. You know, I just spent 3 years in the military. I know how these things operate. He got away with murder. And he sang, also, to his captors. And I was just talking to a journalist in Italy called Lucio Manisco. And he has seen some of the singing that he did while at the Hanoi Hilton or wherever he was held.
Can McCain win?
Yes, because it'll be stolen for him. How do you think Bush won in 2000? How do you think in 2004 was even worse?
You say that the Republican Party is really a mindset and that it's the party of the wealthy, but the white working class have a problem with Obama.
Well, so the wealthy newspapers tell us.
Well, and some of the votes.
I haven't... No, they vote.
West Virginia?
West Virginia has been a Democratic fief since Franklin Roosevelt and has never gone against the New Deal because the New Deal saved West Virginia from a fate, I don't know worse than what, but worse than being West Virginia. No, West Virginia is a permanent Democratic state, that's all.
But it did not go for Obama.
Well, if you smear the guy all the time and pretend that he's a wild Zulu who's going to rush over to your house every afternoon and abort 2 or 3 ladies, yes, of course they'll believe that. I mean, it's at a very primitive level. The lies are told, but they're also believed at a very primitive level.
Do you think Mrs. Clinton will withdraw gracefully?
I don't know how graceful it will be. I always favored her between the two. Well, she'll go quietly into the night, and I hope she gets a good job with a law firm or something. She's a wonderful lawyer. And I think we'll be happy. I don't think she needs...
Are you disappointed, though, if you were for her in the beginning?
No, of course I'm not. I don't care about people's private ambitions. That's their business, not mine.
But you thought she would be better for the Republic?
Of course she would be. She knows more about it.
Hasn't, in a way, that period, the Clinton period, already been exhausted, and isn't it time for real change? And if it is time for that change, is Obama change?
No, I don't think he is. How could he measure himself? What are the measuring rods? What will he do about the court? Whom he's going to appoint to the Supreme Court or the other
Don't you have to ask who he is, in a way? Don't you have to ask, is he a bright man? Is he a capable
Well,
man?
apparently he is.
You read his speech on race.
Yes, I listened to it.
It was quite a remarkable piece.
I've spent my life listening to remarkable pieces coming from Winston Churchill and poor Jack Kennedy. I'm not fetched by them.
But are you gloomy about an Obama presidency?
Don't see why I should be.
Well, you're gloomy about a lot else.
Well, he can't be worse than what we've got.
And he might be better?
Well, you would be better. I would be better. The doorman here in the hotel would be much better as president than what we've got. Senator, what's his name? Arizona, you know his name.
McCain.
I have a block about that name. Because to me, he's Mr. Magoo. He's just wandering around in a daze. He doesn't know where he is. He can't get the names right of anything. It was revealed that he had given an interview in the early days of the Bush #2 regime, and he said you can't talk to the president about anything because he'll change the subject and get on baseball scores. Well, that's the word around Washington. We all knew it, but his heir apparent, the Republican candidate for president, is saying that about his leader. And nobody's surprised. I mean, the tolerance for sheer stupidity is beyond anything normal.
Well, one of the most resistant figures has been Ted Kennedy.
Well, he doesn't seem to be in good health.
You've tended not to have the warmest of thoughts for the Kennedy family.
Why does everybody make everything personal? I don't give a goddamn about any of these people personally, and I don't see why you should or anybody else should.
You've been a little bit personal about George W. Bush.
Well, he has wrecked the Republic. The Constitution is in effect gone between him and Gonzales. Am I supposed to be pleased with that? Oh, he's just doing a job as president. You've just got such a nice smile.
Is it a gift or a curse still to be angry in your 80s?
Well, I think it's a great gift. Because I'm ready to kill.
Irresistible and outrageous, and you can see much, much more, the full interview with Gore Vidal on our website after the end of this programme.